Another thing that is a common trick of greenwashing that is honestly the most difficult of all of the red flags of greenwashing to spot is potentially fraudulent certifications and data. And earlier this year, an investigation by Quartz revealed that H&M had been knowingly sharing incorrect data that made their so-called conscious collections, there's that word again, appear to be more beneficial for the planet than they actually were. H&M gets its info for environmental scores from the Higg sustainability profiles. This data is put together by the Sustainable Apparel Coalition, an industry group run and founded by who do you think's running this? I bet you have an idea here. It's retailers and manufacturers, including, and it's a long list, but it includes Amazon, Urban Outfitters, Walmart, Kohl's, American Eagle, ASOS, Everlane, and Allbirds. These brands have also been engaging in a lot of egregious greenwashing, just like H&M. So, okay, we're already off to a really bad start here, right? We're talking about H&M and all these other retailers using sustainability data that is created by an organization run by a ton of fast fashion brands and manufacturers. These scores, the Higg sustainability profiles, are created by an organization who has a stake in making their products appeal as sustainable as possible in order to drive sales. This is the equivalent of my cat Hutch handing me a study conducted by Brenda and him that says that Temptations, their favorite brand of treats, are healthier than the grain-free cat food I normally give them at meals, and that I should just give them treats at all meals. Like, no, they have the data here. Come on, it's the data. Nope, I'm not going to buy it. And this is a very similar situation. So back to these Higg sustainability profiles. They are created ostensibly to give customers a clearer view of the environmental impact of the items they purchase. The profiles take into account how much water and fossil fuels were used to create the materials in a piece of clothing. And this data is compared to more conventional fabrics and methods of producing fabrics. So the goal here is to show that these materials, these techniques are better than how it's been. Here's where it went wrong for H&M. On the website, when a product used 30% more water than its conventional counterpart, which would be bad, it was shown to use 30% less water, appearing better. The claims H&M were making were literally the opposite of the data for those materials from the Higg website. In fact, Quartz took it to a next level and discovered that H&M had hard-coded its website to show only the positive version of this data. Basically, the code would reverse more water to less water. On the day that Quartz did its investigation, of the 630 items on the website that included Higg info, 136 of the items showed incorrect data, making them appear to be better for the planet than they really were. And in fact, they were worse for the planet than the traditional conventional fabrics. Only 11 items showed any reduced impact, 11 of 630. Okay, so 630 minus 136, those are the ones with the incorrect data, minus 11, those are the ones that were better, is 483. About a third of those showed very, very minor reduced impact, really like unimportant, right? The remaining 300 or so after all of that had no difference in impact from conventional methods. They were exactly the same, yet they were all being marketed as more sustainable and transparent. After being called out on all of this, H&M pulled down all of the Higg data from its website. The company is still, however, because this is their thing now, right, using some misleading terminology, like referring to a garment made of a mixture of polyester and recycled cotton as a more sustainable option. You know, it's probably really not. The SAC, that's that Sustainable Apparel Coalition that creates the Higg Index, is reworking the Higg Index scoring after years of criticism. One critic, George Harding Rolls of the Changing Markets Foundation, has been questioning the Higg Index and its validity for years. And he gets down to brass tacks about the whole thing, telling Quartz, quote, "The SAC has been providing green paint to paint a very, very dirty industry and eco shade for 10 years and haven't really shown any measurable results in that time." Once again, we have an entire organization that is completely funded by people who have a stake in continuing the fast fashion model for as long as possible, rather than taking all of that money and time and using it to actually change the industry, to change consumer behaviors, to make better product that lasts longer and doesn't rely on human exploitation and waste of natural resources to create. The industry decided instead to spend it to create fake sustainability indexes and certifications, a whole fake group that has a website and probably has conventions and handouts and probably gives away tote bags and t-shirts at every meeting, right? It must be so scary to be a big fast fashion retailer in 2022, to know that the writing is on the wall, that more and more of us are seeing it, and that we are rejecting all of the false promises and bullshit of buying as much stuff as possible, as often as possible. They hear us. They know we are coming for them, and they know that we are only going to get louder and more powerful as we share knowledge and welcome more people to the movement.